Hi, folks. You know how sometimes a movie is so bad that it's good? That is what this particular sovereign citizen is like to me. We all know that it's super entertaining to watch Sobsits on the streets doing Sobsit things and getting arrested. But this sovereign citizen sits in his car and talks to the camera, and somehow I cannot stop watching this slow motion train wreck. Hopefully, you'll enjoy it too.
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boys, Freeman the Land 446 here. As some of you may know, I've been going through some difficult times right now. I was arrested by the illicit and illegal corporations, illegally established, and they did illegally detain and arrest me, and they all attempted to charge me in.
I don't know if he was really arrested, but let's hear his account of what happened.
I just wanted to give you guys an update on one of my recent arrests. This is my first arrest. But this time I was arrested for my civil disobedience and my lawful rebellion against the local municipality,
Municipality?
because not only did they failed to recognize my legal tender, but they also failed to recognize my lawful license plate. See, I put my own license plate on there, because I put state license plates of this foreign entity, of the corporate entity of the state, on my vehicle whenever I'm driving. But when I'm traveling, I put my own license plate because I have that right, I have the obligation, and I utilize that privilege. It's mine, my privilege. I would be recording in the house as usual. However, my mom's inside right now.
To the surprise of literally no one, he lives with his mom.
She did help me out on bail. But I was traveling down the highway, and that is whenever some public servants of the state of Ohio had pulled me over because they failed to recognize my vehicle, my license plate. And I gave them my identification. Let me turn this car on. It's getting kind of cold. So some of you don't know, we're gonna get a lot of storms out here right now. But I
3 weeks later.
I was pulled over, and that is whenever one of the officers approached me and asked for my my license and proof of insurance, and I told him that well, I didn't tell him anything. I just went through the same spiel. I didn't roll my window down because I'm not obligated to roll my window down all the way down. It's not in the law of the Ohio Penal Code that a subject has to roll the window down all the way. I could hear them just fine, and he kept playing that whole "I can't hear you" card just because that's their excuse to get at you. That's their excuse. That's how they get into your vehicle. It's the same if you have an officer at your front door. You don't open that. You do not open your front door when there's an officer there. You can talk to them through the door. They can talk to you through the door. If you open it, that is, in some cases, they take that as you inviting them in, and they can arrest you if they don't have a arrest warrant at that point in time. Anyway, though, I was pulled over, and I rolled my window down just enough to where I could make sense of what he was saying. He could make sense of what I was saying, but just playing that spiel. And however, he did identify himself. That is Officer Hernandez. I will not go into further details because I'm handling it with the courts and the admiraltal entities.
Beware of those admiraltal entities.
But I asked for a supervisor because I'm sure most supervisors are trained, and they're trained to deal with people who know the shit, know the law of the land.
I don't know if anyone is trained to deal with this level of derp.
I told him how he worked for me, and he serves the public. I am the public. He serves me. He took an oath to uphold the Constitution for me, to uphold my rights. And at this point, I did identify myself as the authorized representative of this corporate entity. And he started asking if I was a lawyer. And I told him, no, I'm not a lawyer. I know the law, though. And I know how things are supposed to be. And he is breaking the law by doing this, by pulling a gun on me. And at this point, one of his, I think it was the watch commander, had come alongside my right side passenger window. And that's whenever he started tapping on the glass with a little hammer. And I thought he was going to break that shit. And I said, I do not consent to any search and seizure of this vehicle. If you want me out of the vehicle, you ask. And you ask politely. Although I personally do not recognize this straw man that the corporate entity, the United States of America, has put for me, I did identify this straw man that they had in the books and the numbers, because I've been reduced to nothing but numbers on a paper. With your credit report, that's numbers now. You are no longer your person. You are no longer your real person to this corporate entities. You are nothing but numbers, and I do not like that. I do not consent to that, and I feel obligated to peacefully protest that. Anyway, though, my window's fine. He didn't break it. They did demand that I get out of the vehicle, and I told him again and again, I do not consent. I'm not obligated to get out of this vehicle simply because it is your command. Because you're a public servant. You're supposed to serve me. And that's whenever the watch commander started threatening to break my door down and break my windows down. And I said, first off, you do not break my door. You do not touch my property illicitly like this. I'm a lawful rebel. And it is recognized under common law and under the Magna Carta, which is the bedrock of most constitutions. The Magna Carta, it goes back to that because it talks about the rights of men, and I mean men as in mankind, because there's a lot of other free women of the land who I really owe respect to, and that's when the watch commander and I rolled down my passenger window and we started having a conversation. I completely ignored this officer over here as he did withdraw his weapon, and he did holster it after some due time. I started to speak with the officer, the watch commander, and he and I started talking, and I told him, this is not maritime law. He has no jurisdiction over me. He's trying to make this about law of commerce, law of ownership, and citizenship. With the ships in there, it reverts to maritime law and admiralty. And this is not naval jurisdiction. We are not under maritime law, and I had to inform him of that.
I bet that officer was appreciative that you told him something that he already knows.
But it was at this point that I did inform the officers that, if they do not have a claim against me, I will continue along my day. I will drive up, and I will drive away.
Hold on there, Cletus. Isn't the premise of your whole argument that you're traveling and not driving?
And that is whenever he's threatened to break my window down and drag me out of my car before I have the ability to put it into drive. And at this point, I realized putting an e-brake was a mistake because legally I could drive away. I was trying to ask him, am I being detained or am I free to go? He would not answer me to either one of them. And I was like, if you do not answer me, because it's the same way with the taser. If someone's going to tase you, I have to warn you 3 times before they tase you. Same with canine units. I will send the canine on you 3 times. I will tase you if you do not stop resisting. They have to say it 3 times. And if they don't, then they can be in trouble for that. It's their training. And it's how I think it's called the X27, the taser guns. It's how they train with it. You warn the suspect 3 times. And I said it 3 times. Am I under arrest? Am I being detained? Or am I free to go? Nobody would answer this. Not even the watch commander. He just said that he was telling me to get out of the car, and I said I do not feel safe to exit my vehicle right now. Because at this point, these people, they didn't know anything. So how did I know these people weren't just scammers? How did I know these actually weren't public servants and just robbers playing dress up? And it was at this point that I tried to put off the e-brake, and you can hear the noise. It sounds like a Warren noise. It's the brakes lifting off the pads. Hold on, let me turn down this. Hold on. You probably can't hear that, but it's like a whirring noise of the things going off the brake pads. And it was at this point, whenever he heard that, he tried to he tried to pull out his baton, and that's whenever one of the other officers on this side, the driver's side window, pulled their gun on me, and that's whenever the watch commander opened my passenger door illegally without my consent, and that's whenever all the other officers started to storm me, and they dragged me from my vehicle unlawfully. They dragged me away, and they put me in cuffs, and they put me in restraints, which I felt like they were trying to enslave me, It felt like I was now being forced to conform to their ways of life that I do not wish to conform with.
It's called being arrested. The process was not designed with your comfort in mind. And I'll tell you a little secret. Your consent is not required.
Assimilation under their authority, and I do not consent to that. I do not believe in that. Although I do possess this straw man identity, I'm not that. I'm my own person. I represent that person, but I'm my own person. But they did arrest me, and my mom had to bail me out of jail. I went before the judge, and I tried to explain to the judge, law of commerce, and I had to explain to him about, things from the Magna Carta under common law as well, because, people say you're not under common law. Well, the state of Maryland just arrested somebody just a few days ago for trying to commit suicide, which is illegal under common law. So the state of Maryland, they still utilize common law, except in this courtroom, it's not recognized, really. Really. Let me just take a sip from my water bottle. I need more water. Oh, it's mine. But, I spoke with the judge, and I did identify myself as the legal representative of this corporate entity they put on me. I'm nothing but, this straw man's nothing but numbers now, and he did recognize that, thankfully. At least someone knew something. And I did choose to represent myself, and he set my bail. And next time I'll try recording in the courtroom if I can. I'll see if my mom can't record. She's really scared for me for the civil disobedience stuff, so I'll be doing my best. But you really just have to prove yourself to the man. I mean, this is my first time going through this stuff. If I can, I'll try and find my old videotape whenever I was arrested for possession of narcotics and intent to distribute. Man, it was nothing but a little meth and weed, man. But anyway, it's Free Man 446, Free Man of the Land. Just all y'all gotta keep safe, and all y'all gotta stick to your guns, and then we gonna take over. Not take over, actually take over, but I mean, this movement's gonna get around. We gotta keep going.
I wonder what this grown man's mom thinks of her son.
Some of you may know my mom. She did bail me out, which I am extremely thankful for. And I would be in the house usually, when I'm doing this at my computer desk or something like that. But she and I just got into a fight recently, and she did say that I can't keep doing this anymore, or else she would have to kick me out. And I do take what she's saying very seriously, because she already has thrown out my cigarettes. She did already find my emergency cigarettes, which I kept hidden in my drawers, in my cabinets. And she has found my meth pipe as well. She did break that. She threw it away,
But there is hope for this young man. It appears that he's seeking gainful employment.
Hello, my name is Freeman 446 out here. How y'all doing? It's gonna be like a video I send to potential job holders. I look for work. I'm from Millennium 446. I'm good at talking on people. Know what I'm talking about. I'm very expert in talking to people. I like money. I like making money. I like earning you money. So you should hire me. You know what I'm talking about?
That sounds like a solid resume. I'm sure employers will be fighting over him very soon. Look, folks, if you like this video and want to see more stupid in the future, please click like and subscribe.